Makes absolute sense.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Skibbity bop 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 bop.
Pick it up.
What? Wildly Uninteresting
I can't.
podcast.
Nothing now.
Episode 106.
106.
In part.
I'm
We're
so glad
finally
we're
there.
at 106.
Yeah.
I've wanted to say it the last few episodes. 106
You
in
have.
Park. I know I have.
What happens at
I'm going to
End
turn you
Park?
down while you're munching.
Explain
No.
this to me.
Oh,
Tell our
106 in
listeners why
Park.
it's important.
Oh,
106 in
BET,
Park?
106 in Park. It was the only music channel we could watch in jail and in prison.
That
'Cause
seems weird.
They'd allowed BET because mostly it wasn't music. Just like MTV's not music anymore.
Okay. So you've seen lots of episodes of Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some music on 106 in Park.
Yes.
I was locked up when oh no, it wasn't. Never mind.
I think they should
Look at
force
him
you guys
rhyme.
to listen to classical music.
Yeah, I feel like that would be a thing that should
would
be
just,
implemented.
like-
They strip you of a lot of things, but classical music would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Even if they played it like quietly on like a little speaker in the corner
Everyone
of the
would just
pod.
like beatbox over it and rap. And shit.
Lockdown is over. It's
That'd be
classical
very
music
cool.
and
Yeah.
Carl Jung hour. That would be cool with beatboxing and shit.
Hell yeah.
Classical's
That's
a
exactly
hard
what
one
would happen.
to add like a beat to and stuff. You really have to do a lot of cutting to make you know what I mean, a classical
You'd have to
music
just
piece.
use a clip.
Yeah.
Or
and,
you
like,
could just be
replay it.
talented and never repeat things.
Whoa. Well, we don't have that nowadays, man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
What, talent or repetition?
Yeah, if ODB
Talent.
can do it,
All of it.
anybody
All
can
you got to
do
do is get drunk.
it. Yeah.
You can do anything.
You can do anything, and anything sounds good. No, but welcome back to the show
Seven.
after
No,
our
I've been
week
drunk
break.
as shit, and plenty of bands have still sounded terrible.
We've taken
Anyway,
yeah.
a week off.
Yeah.
Just as a break, man. It's good to get a break every now and
Yeah.
then.
I was too lazy to want to do anything.
Yeah.
That's how I am all the time.
A lot of
yes.
times when I'm like, I get a weekend where I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna, take off and get everything around the house I need done, take a day for me. Usually, more often than not, I'm so tired by that day when it comes that I'm like, I'm just gonna sit
You're
here
going to
and
do
do nothing.
nothing.
I just realized I forgot to put the clothes from the washer into the dryer.
Ah, look at those.
Well,
look at it.
damn.
Look at it go.
God
Look at it.
damn.
Look at it. Look at it.
Look at
Well,
it.
that sucks. Now you're going to have to do shit when you get home. Just
So
leave it there.
I looked a little more into crypto and
Right.
investing in the crypto, right?
Yeah.
And here's what I've come up with. And the only reason I've come up with this, and this is the thing, most people feel like they have this they have the secret to the world, right? Most
Yes.
people do. You'll watch something, you watch all these videos, and you take in all this information, and now you feel like you fucking know, like you're
Get
in the
my
know.
piece of the pie now.
Yeah, and other people that haven't watched the things you've watched are
I'm gonna
either
get their
like,
piece too.
they're not listening or they're wrong or
hype
whatever.
man?
Yeah.
So I looked into it and I based my decision of like how I feel off of it, like Warren Buffett, people that not Elon Musk because he's not a financial guy, right? Elon Musk is an engineer. He's a builder.
Yeah,
He's a
he
creator.
has a lot
He's
of
a
money,
thinker.
but he's not,
Yeah.
know. Well, baby.
And a lot of his has to do with like marketing and advertising and people getting people hyped up. Look at the Boring Company. Like it doesn't offer anything right now, but the promise of is what people buy into. Same with Tesla. It's the promise of going to Mars. It's the promise of having a shuttle that's reusable and
Have you not seen the truck?
oh god.
Yeah,
But-
that's right.
I was watching Warren Buffett explain like how he felt about crypto, and he
hates it.
he hates it, and I'll say that like up front he fucking hates it, right? But
Munger hates it more.
yeah, they're fucking. He's like it's like trading pieces of dog shit or some shit. He said.
Essentially,
Sure, that's
yes.
And I'm like,
exactly what he says.
So
He is a foul-mouthed old man.
Yes, he is.
Warren
He's
Buffett
hype
explained it like
always.
when at the end of the video, right? I felt with crypto, it's kind of like we talked about it, Beanie Babies or trading baseball cards,
Right.
same thing, right? You put your money in hopes that the person after you will want to buy it for more.
Yeah.
So the hype of this certain nothing will be wanted more after you buy it, right? That's the whole plan. And Warren Buffett is like, any crypto you buy is not an asset. Whether you believe it is or not, it's not an asset because
it's not a thing.
At the end of the year, after you have bought that thing, that nothing, and we're gonna just use the word nothing because there's no actual like physical thing that you get, right? So you buy that nothing, and at the end of the year, it has not given you anything. You're only left with the nothing. He was like, I bought a farm, and at the end of the year, I get all the profits of the farm and whatever I need from the farm that it's produced. And if shit goes sour, I always have the farm, the original thing I bought.
There's
right?
always money in the banana stand.
Right.
That's right.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
don't burn
yeah.
it down.
Don't burn it down. But and I kind of get that. So Warren Buffett said there may be money in it in the short term.
Yeah.
But long term speaking, if you hold your money in it long enough, eventually it is going to come to an end.
Oh, yeah.
It may be 5, it may be 10, but eventually it's going to come to an end.
With the
right?
idea of the cryptos, there are so many.
Yeah,
It's absurd.
I-
There are like 4,000 something.
Oh my
Yeah.
If not
God.
more.
I was looking at them. I'm like, how many
wild.
fucking types of crypto is there? There's
So, like at work,
lot.
Cooney and I like to talk about them like before I get out of there.
yeah.
And we were talking about 2. There's one, Australian Safe Shepherd, which they just, it's just ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other one
Oh, that's awesome.
is Cum Rocket. And they call those cummies.
Cummings.
And if you had invested like a month ago, you could have made a shitload of money.
Yeah.
And now you probably can't.
So
But
why don't you just buy across the board? And then
Yeah.
like even shit that's just popping up, right? And then when it goes up just incrementally a little bit, just like cash out right then. Like you can, I know that's a rough call, but what if you hold on long enough and then eventually one day it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Like, well, not there.
no,
You'll
no.
still have it.
If anything, I've learned from the whole Dogecoin roller coaster is that you don't hold the shit.
Right.
No, you
It's just foolish.
yeah.
Yeah.
You just cash out at the high. It's gambling.
Yeah.
Well, and everybody knows that.
Well,
But
I mean, yeah, that's kind of the fun thing about it.
yeah,
Like, hey, you can get in, ooh, there's possibility.
the odds are
But
better than
most of them are really just gambling.
gambling. Yeah.
I would say like with Ethereum and Bitcoin, it's still a gamble, but it's a little less gambly.
Yeah.
But pretty much everything else is just you may as well be in Vegas,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Yeah. I mean, I get, and that's somebody could make the argument that taking any financial advice or investment advice from Warren Buffett, especially in today's age, would be
Genius.
well, yeah, but a lot of people would make the argument that he doesn't want to buy into crypto because he's an older generation. He knows it one way, only stock market and the value of $1, and
Or he knows
so
it's
everything.
worthless.
Well, I
Yeah.
think that
Man knows his fundamentals.
Yeah.
Warren
'Cause
Buffett
he's old doesn't mean he's invalid.
comes. I don't think. I think he's
Adam
timeless.
hates old people.
Oh my God.
I think that Warren Buffett is timeless in the sense that he just knows how money works and how property and investing and all that works, how businesses do, right? It doesn't matter the time. He has it's almost like, I don't know, physics to him.
I mean, it's also though like he bought Coke before it got expensive and
Yeah.
he's riding that way. But he is a genius.
Yeah,
Give
he
man his
definitely he's definitely riding the wave of Coca-Cola and made moves in there that were just like so slight, but made billions off that slight penny increase.
Now
Like,
he's to the point. It's like I'm just gonna own 30% of a business. That's cool.
You know,
do that 1,000 times.
yeah,
he sent me a couple videos where he's talking, and I really yay for him knowing things. Like if I were going to take advice, it would be from Warren Buffett, but I just can't fucking stand listening to
What?
him. It drives me nuts. Like
He's a sweetheart.
maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And
be
definitely
kidding.
not a whole video.
I watched
There's
a
no way.
2-hour
Absolutely
interview with
not.
him.
Nope. Makes me want to die
I
thinking
love
about
that guy.
this.
Yeah,
I
it used to
love
be
him.
that way though.
yeah,
He's just so
comforting.
Well, maybe I should just give him time. It's like Lewis Black, just always fucking yelling about something, and he needs to calm down. But now I love Lewis Black. I think he's fantastic. So, I don't know.
I think, though, that investing in crypto, like it's the new dollar, if you will, is a falsehood. Like, I wouldn't do it personally. Like, I wouldn't bank on crypto being the new dollar when our government crashes or whatever. Because I feel like we're at a time like.
I mean, I kind of want to disagree with this. Like,
That's what I was going to say. Do you disagree?
I feel like the dollar will eventually, like, it's gonna crash. Like, the dollar has lost its value.
Right.
But this is what for people who come from liking conspiracy theories. I got one for you. Right. This is completely made up by me. Right. By me, yours truly. What if
your boy?
This crypto deal, and they're getting all these American people to buy into crypto because they feel like they can make money, right? Let's say the elites. I'll say that, right? They're getting you to buy into it so that they can collect all these dollar bills that they printed, and they can collect them into this thing. Right. And then for some reason, whatever, crypto crashes, right? They're just like, crypto is worthless now, right?
Probably the Russians.
Well, they get to hang on to all those dollar bills that were worthless to begin with, burn them, and then give value back to the original dollar because they printed so many. They're like, how do we get it back from the American people without like making the financial gap between the rich and the poor bigger?
Why not just get like the biggest prostitution ring going?
That could work too, man.
Crypto Crash is a great band name. Yeah. Crypto Crash.
Crypto Crash.
Great band name.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not even with the dollar, like even if the dollar crashes completely, right. I'll just use all the dollar bills I have to start fires when the world's ending, right? I'll just you know what I mean?
See, with along the lines of the whole dollar crashing, that's what I think like crypto would be a good bridge. Like, because I mean, I'm not going to start investing in fucking China money. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to buy euros and shit. So it would just be a thing that would translate to any other currency you want.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I got this Bitcoin over here. What'll this get me? Oh, that'll get you much, yeah.
It'll get you much.
Yeah.
But
so, that's nice.
So you just got China's money wrong, and you used a very questionable impression.
Somebody,
come on, that guy's out there somewhere.
Kind of sound like Japanese.
Next to a bodega.
We used to do work in an ER, right? And the doctor in the ER said, because we had a question, they were like, you get paid so much money. Why do you get paid more than me? I have to go to school for it, blah, blah, talking about an electrician. Yeah. And the doctor said, it was back when I was working with mechanics, right? And the mechanic had asked him that. Right. And the doctor said, can you take a car apart while it's running and put it back together to fix it? Can you take it apart and put it back together? And the mechanic said, no, I can't. He was like, that's the difference between you and me.
I can't if I put it on life support.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you fucking run it off some tubes, and I'm sure there's a way.
Yeah, but like that heart's beating outside of the body because it's hooked up to shit, not because you're a god.
But when the shit hits the fan, when the shit hits the fan, like if I put you underneath a tree and I put a doctor underneath a tree, technically you're equal, right? You're equal in your knowledge and whatever you can bring to the table under a tree with no tools, no nothing, whatever you can bring. So if the world ends and everything's burning around you, there's not going to be value in Bitcoin or any other crypto. There's not going to be value in a dollar. There's not going to be value in gold or anything.
One dog is one dog.
There's only going to be value,
which is also a table,
in what you can do underneath a tree. Right? Yeah. Only what you can produce and bring to the table.
Now, what does this tree have to do with anything?
It's just
I'm lost in this.
It's symbolism for when the world's crashing and there's no tools, there's no house, there's no cars, there's no nothing.
Yeah.
You're left with you and nature is pretty much what the picture is assuming.
I thought it was just trying to help you be able to see the scene.
Visualizing.
I just pictured like me leaning on a tree and this dude's kind of leaning against a tree too. We're like, what the fuck are we doing here?
It's just a visualization for, just you and nature. That's it. There's nothing else to help you. There's nothing else to offer. Just what can you bring to the table? And that's what's going to be worth something. I'm going to trade my goods and services, whatever I've collected or made,
Right.
for your goods and services. And that's going to be the only thing that is worth anything.
Would you like to
Anything
buy
that
a
you
bad song? Maybe some overcooked bread.
bread. There's going to be a bunch
awesome.
of shit
I'll
that
sing to you
people are
while
going to
you
be
eat it.
mad. There's a lot of money and coin and paper that has lost value or went extinct over time. Like, it's just going to happen because we realize that there is no value in it. We just put value on it because we're idiots and we believed in capitalism and materialism and all that shit.
Well, if we don't believe in it, then we have to believe in doing stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But if you didn't have to do anything else, what could you bring to the table? Like, I mean, what could you bring to the table?
Nothing.
I bet you could.
I'd make
when
an
your
alright
back's against the wall.
jester. I could probably do that.
That's one. There you go.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, but then I'd end up pissing off the king.
You absolutely would.
Too
yeah,
far.
For sure. You just have to find the right king. You'd find the right fit for sure.
Isn't believing in crypto just like Rick and Morty, where they go to that purge planet and
Yeah.
they kill it off all the elites and everything, and then they're like, well, what are we gonna do now? And then they set up the same exact system as before,
I'll
but
keep
they were
track
like,
of
this'll
food.
work. It'll
for
work
more
this time.
food.
But that's the same thing with crypto. Like, you're just putting value on it's nothing. Like, crypto would be nothing, and you're putting a value on it. That's just like the dollar. So what are you gonna like head down to the same thing instead of capitalism? What are you gonna call it? Something else, and then it's gonna fail.
Capitalism.
Until you break until you break the system all the way down, there's nothing gonna get better or anything, right?
Well, as long as you have more than like 40 people living within your community, it's gonna devolve to crap.
Yeah, I feel like 40's even a bit much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need minimal number of people, or it's just gonna be chaos.
I mean, there are far too many people that contribute nothing to the world.
It's
And we're morally obligated to keep them alive.
It's like that episode of It's Always Sunny whenever they don't want to have any rules, so they have everyone come to the bar. There's people like shooting up and dying and
yeah,
gambling
dude.
in the basement and shit. It would turn
Yeah.
into that.
And like somebody lose a finger or something.
Yeah.
I think Frank takes it too far.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Everybody's like, no, you get, yeah. But there's always that person that takes it too far.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
it's always gonna come to that. I think it's always gonna come to your destruction. I think we're just made for that, right?
Yeah.
Like, in one way or another, you're gonna destroy yourself. There's been multiple civilizations that have done it, and if you don't do it, if we don't
Somebody
do it,
else will.
Well, yeah, I was
The
thinking
universe
some of
will
them
do it.
kind of were destroyed by outside forces.
Yeah.
But
the universe to do it. But that's just like getting messed up over this stuff on like Reddit about. If I'm not mistaken, right, the stuff that's going on in Cairo right now, right? Or yeah, the stuff with Israeli army against the Palestinians. Have you looked at any of that?
well, I don't think Cairo is in Israel.
No, it's in Egypt.
Yeah. Okay, so I saw that there were like rockets
Gaza.
and stuff.
I'm sorry, Gaza.
Either way, the
Gaza.
Israeli-Palestinian shit is popping off.
Yeah, but it always has.
Yeah.
Like I looked it up. They have been in a war with each other for 100 years.
Yeah, the Hatfields and McCoys.
100 years.
It's just more violent.
So
Bigger.
I think it's just another thing that it's another thing to grab your attention and get your attention away from just whatever. Really, I don't
really
even
feel
think
like
they're
it's-
trying to pull one over on you. I think they're just trying to gain your attention so that I don't know. They can just. What do you think they're
I feel
getting your
they're-
attention away from?
I don't think they're even trying to really get your attention. I think people just fucking suck so much that they're like, this is something else I can complain about and blame on Biden.
I like how
like-
he said he was going to send over people to negotiate. It's like,
Yeah.
Well, that's
just
better
leave them
than.
alone.
Yeah.
Let them kill each other.
Well, see, that's the argument that a lot of people have, and they put it with a lot of stuff that they blame on Biden. Which I'm not saying that I go one way or another. I don't have a stance that I'm going to
go
say that
both
right now.
ways.
I'm neutral because everybody I feel like in the government is fucked anyways. But Biden is getting the blame for a lot of shit that doesn't even have to do with him, like the Colonial pipeline being hacked and shit
Yeah.
has nothing to do with Biden. Bottom line, it has something to do with hackers wanting money, and then they got it in crypto. So what do you complain about? They didn't take your dollar.
And people,
Back
the
to that.
shit that I know it's got me fucked up.
Rage.
The things that it seriously pisses me off, like
Well,
those
hold
things
on.
have nothing to do with him, and the only people that blame him for it are fucking ignorant. So
The thing with blaming the stuff that's going on with the Israeli and they're tying that back to this didn't happen back when Trump. Now, the thing is, what Biden pulled said that we're gonna get out of other people's business. I said that fucking like ignorant, but they're gonna stop with foreign affairs. Like they're gonna stop interfering with foreign affairs as much as they have. And we've had a bad problem with that.
Who's doing this?
Biden's gonna slow down on it, right?
I was thinking. I feel like he says it, but
Well, yeah.
yeah, and then
but-
just behind closed doors, it's just he's got an agreement with the media. Don't put this out.
I feel like in his 4 years, Trump already did less abroad than Biden has done so far.
I think though that Trump sent more troops in than Biden's planning to, for whatever reason. They're gonna stop putting their nose in other people's business as much. Now, him sending negotiators over, right, is a lot better than sending an entire army and killing people.
True.
And forcing capitalism on people. It's a lot better than that.
You know the Israelis are going to embrace capitalism.
Oh, probably. I would say it's super weird to watch. Like the people seem the same when they're in the video, but you have one dancing and parading around because they just killed a bunch of Palestinians, and then you have Palestinians praying, and it's just super weird because they look exactly the same, but they're killing each other.
I know I should know this, but like, what are they arguing about?
I figure it's just land.
And I think something to do with like they feel like they're the chosen people, and that I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I never really looked into it.
Yeah,
Because it was just, they've always been fighting.
Yeah. I know.
Nobody seems to know who to blame for it. It's like, well,
Biden,
who's fucking
for sure.
who?
Biden.
No, I
Well-
mean, in
No, I know.
reality, damn it. It's like Michael Rappaport, he posted something, and then people jumped on him for like, you're usually on the right side of things, but, and I feel like no common man knows what really is going on. Everybody has their stupid ass version, and they just picked a side. They're like, oh, the Palestinians are to blame. Oh, the Palestinians are riling shit up. It's like, which is it, bitch?
But
Where's the evidence?
to I don't know. I just feel like putting that on the list of things that are going wrong in America, that's just idiotic to me to put that on any group with what's going on in America, because that's not even the same country. Like, we're not even supposed to be in the middle of that. Like, we've just had a habit over the years of moving in when either we want oil or fucking control poppy fields
With
for the
stuff
opium.
like that, though, like specifically with the Israel stuff, I always try to convince myself that like the Vatican has secret knowledge of that, like biblical shit's real, and that the government is like, okay, we know that this shit's real, so we got to go deal with it. And in my head, that's the only reasonable explanation.
Right. It's that answer, or y'all need to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
I don't know. Look that up and see why. Because it has something to do with
I feel like maybe
Jews feel like they're the chosen people, and
They don't feel like it, Adam.
I saw
They are.
a thing where I want to say it was people in might have been the United Kingdom. They were marching and
protesting.
stuff. They were like on the side of like let the
Solidarity.
Palestinians be free or whatever. So maybe it's the fact that they.
were shutting that
not.
down too, though.
Let's see.
But that's I
There's
just
always going to be opposition to anybody wanting freedom.
yeah. I think though that
Just
like
stupid.
adding that in, and then like the just anything to get your attention away from you, right? So instead of worrying about like how you feel on the inside, how you're living life, how you're building your future or whatever, and inevitably dying and not existing here on Earth again. Let's get you all wrapped up into all these other things that are going on around you so that you don't pay attention to tax increases because are fucking you out of your wages or whatever, not giving you benefits and stuff like that. Like they pull your attention away from that so you have something to bide your time for. But you need to remember, like one day you're going to die.
I feel like
So
that
why the
gives them
fuck
too
you worried
much
about it?
credit.
I really don't think that I've decided just now.
Excellent.
I don't really think that anyone's trying to pull our attention away from anything. I think the world's fucked and we see it for what it is. I mean, there might be more stuff going on, but
it's
the
definitely
issue
fucked.
It's more interesting than Walgreens.
right? It depends on what time of year it is.
Who's on the register?
But really, the issue is fucking social media because everyone has a voice and everyone's just busy arguing with each other. Like, shit's been going on forever and people have been informed forever or not informed. Just, sometimes that happens.
What if you choose? Like,
it's just everyone feels like my voice fucking matters and it doesn't. People need to figure it out. Like, your voice doesn't fucking matter. Our voices don't matter.
No,
It
especially when we're
doesn't.
uninformed.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
If you're a smart person and you have all the facts, then by all means, state your case.
Hell yeah.
Otherwise,
well, let me just
Social media is just
add
fucking
something
ruining
did you not
us.
listen to what she said?
Yeah.
You don't matter.
Yeah. No. I know.
No one
you don't have to admit, I
cares.
fucking know. Well, that's the thing too. Like we don't. There's a reason why we don't watch the news. Like if I wake up and it's raining, well, it's just gonna rain on me because I don't worry about tomorrow. I don't worry about what's going on in the world because like that outside of this house and my customers and my vehicles that get me there. The little stuff I do, the hobbies I have around the house, like
Talk about
outside
the
of
cats.
that, what
our
the fuck?
kitty cats.
What the
Meow.
fuck does it matter what's going on in Palestine and shit like that? Shit's gonna like you can't change a fucking thing by yourself. And let's just face it, when you get together in a fucking group of people, the military eventually shuts it down.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Well, and
And I
if
know
you,
it takes that to change, but I'm just saying, like, worry about the fucking house, worry about what's in front of you,
and then the
yourself, your
civilians
well-being.
rise up, and it's guerrilla warfare.
Yeah. Well, and let's
Yeah.
just be honest that the majority of us, if we could change things,
Probably wouldn't.
would we fucking do it? I'm telling you right now, I didn't even want to get up and vacuum my own house today. Do you think I want to save the Palestinians?
know.
I would love to. That sounds great, but the effort that goes into things, most people don't want to fucking do it. If
well,
we're
Why
being
I've never
even the
honest.
run
people
for
that-
political office.
Right, because it would suck.
I think that you can only handle a finite amount of information and be proficient at it, right?
Right,
So you can
absolutely.
only, like, people who know about the Israeli and Palestinian conflict, right, know about that, right? And they have a little bit of background as far as, like, politically go, like, you know what I mean, what's going on in the nation, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in general, if they know about that, they know about that. But you can't just watch, like, segments of all these different conflicts going on around the world and then add your opinion and have an argument or a say on how it's going to go because you're not proficient in that area.
Exactly. You have no idea. You got 30 seconds of information from something.
But
It's
what's
like
that?
there's a 3-hour
Dunning-Kruger?
documentary, and then you get like a 30-second clip, and they're like, all right,
yeah,
dissect that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, what
It's
about
that-
the other 2 hours?
Yeah.
59
We've
minutes.
talked about it before,
30
the
seconds.
Dunning-Kruger effect, where you feel like you're smarter than you are because the video itself or the information itself makes you feel that way. And that's why I try not to interject. Like, when people tell me, I'm just like, cool. Like, that's your fucking thing. And I'll add something just to keep the argument. And when I use the word
Alive.
argument, I'm like a healthy argument.
A
between,
debate, a
Yeah,
disagreement.
debate.
Yeah.
And just to keep it going, because you never know where that conversation can get you to. You know what I
Right.
mean? But I refuse to have like a dead set, like this is how, and get fucked up about it and let it ruin my day or play into any of my decisions. Because in reality,
Yeah.
none of that, even the stuff that's happening in our own government and shit, that doesn't have anything. It does, like, in the realm of your life eventually does, but in our life it doesn't because we own our own company.
Well, I mean, it doesn't, but I just tend to look at it, it's the implication of the capabilities of humanity. And if we're too stupid to fix one thing, then I feel like it's going to bleed over into the general decision-making of humanity. And you're like, oh, man, I'm surrounded by these fuckers, and they're at the wheel?
Yeah.
They have weapons that can destroy people and buildings?
And whole worlds.
Man, what happens if 10 years from now they've picked up a little momentum and power, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're a little bit cranky that day.
But what could you... take that... Let's say that exact scenario, and they're just going to run over everybody. They're going to enslave all people, black, white, Mexican, don't matter, right?
Yeah.
If that happens, like, what can you really do?
Take the militias a little more seriously.
No,
they're not
saying,
just
like,
shooting cans in the woods. No, I'm saying join a militia.
Oh,
they're not just shooting
them.
Cans in the woods, man. They're
Well, you would have to
backwoods
join
defense.
These motherfuckers are freelance warriors.
Yeah, dude.
And it just speaks to a military that would answer that call if that call was given. Like, just shut down all people.
I've known a few dudes that
have
have done that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And, like, there was a part of me that was just like, stupid. But then there was another part that was like, well, I mean, you guys would survive longer than I would, so.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
We've watched documentaries about just different things, and they're like, they follow people who do that shit. Like, that's amazing. You have way more balls than I do.
Yeah.
I would never do that. I mean, maybe, I guess, if I had to.
If you had the choice of, like, dying or dying, which one are you going to pick? Like, are you going to fight?
I would personally take myself out, I think.
I think people fail to realize, like, no, it don't matter who you're a part of, how rich you are, none of that shit, right? At the end of the day, you're going to die. Tomorrow's not promised, right? That's what they're trying to get your attention away from, is the fact that they want your attention, so you buy into their shit, you do what they tell you to, you fund whatever weird shit they're into, right? That's what your attention is for, right?
Iguana dildos.
If we're all paying attention to the fact that tomorrow we're going to wake up one day and tomorrow's not going to be the option, right? You're not going to be able to wake up and be like, oh, well, I'm going to drive over to such and such and we're going to talk shit about whatever. It's not one day that's not going to be an option. And they keep making you forget that. And you know what I mean? That's what's bothersome, is that's why I don't play into an opinion or anything. What does it matter? Like, okay, say all that shit happens and you die. We're in the same boat. Say all that shit and you decide to take yourself out before it all hits the fan, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Like, we're still in the same boat.
You're still dead.
Yeah.
In this boat, weighing it down with your dead body.
I just don't
With
understand.
your dead body.
It's like human beings always take the path of least resistance. Why resist all this weird shit? Like, resistance is getting fucked up over the conflict overseas, or about gas, or about fucking Biden and Trump and whatever. Like, all that's resistance.
It's just a crap reality show.
Dude, it's terrible.
It's like Israel's the boyfriend, Palestine's the girlfriend.
Oh shit.
They fought for their entire relationship, but
like love and hip hop.
Yeah. Why don't you just get out? Go live somewhere else. This is my house.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you just leave? This is my house. What am I gonna do with the dog?
Right.
Maybe put the dog down.
What if all of this was like, was it the Truman Show? Is that what it was? Where
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. What if that's what this was? And that's exactly, it's just one big reality show.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there lining their pockets with money from all the drugs they're pumping into us and so on and so forth, and just watching us fuck each other up.
There's Alan Watts stuff where he's talking about that. It's kind of like during the Cold War and stuff, and he was like, there's a fuck me.
Cool.
Implicit agreement among like America and Russia, to where it's like, oh yeah, we have to build it up like we're big enemies and stuff, but we know what's going on, but we have to have so many people believe that it's serious for it to play out as we need it to.
Hell yeah.
And this could just be a bunch of that.
I'm fucking on that. That's
get it, boy.
I like that. That is exactly what it is. It's just like, let me create a disease and then let me sell you the fucking whatever, the cure,
serum,
there you go. Thank
vaccine.
you. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
you nailed it. But you get what I'm saying? Like, they play it on everything. Let me create the problem, and then I will give you a solution, but it's going to cost you, right?
Yeah.
Just like cancer. That's why everybody, it's getting down to what, like every 1 in 2 people at this point. It's fucking ridiculous.
I do think it's 1 in 4.
And you know, people fucking
and by
go
the way,
broke.
rookie numbers.
It is over land, by the way.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I understand it fully.
And I guess they
Send
feel
me
like
over.
Article, if you'd
I feel like the Israelis feel like they're the chosen people for the land, because I know that they're just going in and like kicking Palestinians out of their house, and they're just moving in on it. Like they come home one day and they just don't have a house anymore.
So
I take a you house.
That's exactly how it goes, and that's the end of the conversation.
Britain took control of an area known as Palestine after the ruler of the part in the Middle East, Ottoman Empire, was defeated in World War I. The land was inhabited by a Jewish minority and Arab minority. Tensions between the two continued to grow, and they both claimed that it was their land. That's what continued.
So it's like the Sunnis and the Shiites, kind of.
Yeah.
Sure.
Only loosely, though.
I was going to say sure, but
Sorry,
I don't
without
know
all the
anything about
bombs.
what their shit's like.
Not all the bombs and shit.
Well, they're
That's-
arguing over who's the true Muslim religion. Like,
Yeah.
who's the heir to the throne.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
And one's trying to rebuild the
That's going to go well.
whatever. I don't fucking
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that-
always doing something.
whatever that building is. I
Whatever.
always forget what that building is.
I
But they're
sent you
trying to
both
rebuild
that,
it.
I
that
saw it. I was
article.
like,
Oh,
why-
yeah.
Why are you
the
texting
dome.
me shit?
I sent you both that article. I mean, it says it explains everything. So if you wanted to know
I
in
think-
Good. And then we
detail,
can yell about it educated next week.
that's right. Yeah.
But
We'll
that's
probably
what I'm
have less
saying,
to
though.
say.
Here's
Like-
why Japan truly has rights over that land.
I think a few episodes back, you made the argument of like, okay, well, if that's the case and you're not supposed to like worry about it, why are you even fucking worried about it? And like, what's the point? Stuff. When I said that, you said that, well, if you feel that way, then why do anything? You would just sit and do nothing all day, right?
Right.
And I think what I'm getting at is like, and I go back to like building the company because we put a lot of time and effort into focusing on customers. Like I fucking text my customers on the weekend to make sure that the shit I installed 3 weeks ago is still in proper condition. We talk to, you know what I mean? I invest the money that we make back into the company and like buy things for the company and take classes and stuff. So that's my thing. Like we all have to have something to worry about. But when you muddy the waters with all this information that's being shown on Reddit and Instagram and Facebook and all, like you muddy all those waters, like you're not in control of yourself anymore.
Right.
Like when you're watching something and allow it to play into your emotions and how you make decisions in the day, like you are no longer in control of your life, even though it's making you feel like it because you're getting
Hell
informed.
yeah.
You feel like you're getting informed and you're in the know and everything. You're not. You're wasting your time.
I mean, and I like to read. I mean, I read about shit regularly, almost daily, and if it pisses me off to read it, I stop reading it because I don't want to get mad about it.
Yeah.
I just want to be somewhat informed, so
I
I
just
have at
wanna
least
know,
a general
yeah.
idea of what's going on.
Yeah, so if
Right.
somebody comes talking that bullshit, you're like, whoa, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always hated that shit. I used to never read about anything fucking ever before we started the podcast. And people would be like, "Man, did you hear about?" And I'm like, no, I have no
No.
idea. I can't
But
talk
it's
to you
because
about
we don't
this.
watch.
Yeah.
We don't watch new unless you like really go out to look for whatever. We don't do it. And it's like your dad asked me about something that was on
Shout
TV
out, Pops.
on the news or whatever, and I just don't
Dad.
know. Like I don't fucking know, and I don't
Right.
care. Like I didn't know if it was gonna rain all day today or just a little bit. But I figured, fuck,
Figure
I'll
it
get
out.
driving,
Yeah.
and if it does, fuck it. Like. But I don't know. I can't say that that's a good way to be. Maybe I'm a fucking idiot and I'm going to die like
No, maybe
tomorrow.
about it.
Like, I don't know.
I think it just depends on.
I hope you don't die tomorrow.
No. Oh, that'd be terrible. No, please don't.
But,
You can't.
I will never die.
But no, I
Yeah.
think it really just, thank you, depends on what you personally want for your life. I mean, do you want to be informed and be able to talk about everything and know every detail about everything? Or,
And it's like
There's a reason. Oh.
Oh, shit.
There's a
no.
reason. There's a reason why people don't mention like religion in conversations, or like I don't start religious conversations with my customers, political conversations, or what's the other one that most people get in a fight about? There's
Abortion.
a third one.
Religion and politics.
Religion and
it's
politics.
both of those things.
You don't start a conversation that, and a lot of what's going on in the world right now that's getting people all fucked up and weird is religion and politics.
Absolutely.
It
And-
always gets people fucked up, but it's
And they
because
know
they're-
that,
they're
though.
too stupid to defend their stupid positions, and then instead of sharpening their skills, they just they resort to I'm mad, I'm offended, you can't attack my beliefs like this. Why do you believe this? Well, I don't know, I just do.
Yeah.
Don't question my shit.
That's
Well, don't
exactly.
believe dumb shit. You fucking
I will.
God.
I'll say that I hope Americans, right, move into a place where, for one, people don't get as offended as they have been, right? And I'm not saying that they don't have the right to be offended. Like
Motherfuckers are just
you're not
sissies.
using my correct pronouns, stuff like the little arguments about shit that just it's like, why even argue about it, right? Like, just stop getting offended. Like, let me.
Or, I mean, like, I feel like the pronoun one is a bad example because it is kind of a big deal. I mean, if
I guess.
someone
Imagine
called,
if everybody called you ma'am all the time.
I'd be
I
like,
know you wouldn't care, and
I
I
don't
wouldn't
think I'd
either.
care.
And the people that do care need to fuck off. Stop being such bitches. But at the same time, I get it.
I
no,
mean, it's
that's where I'm
definitely-
going with it, though.
It's a
like,
bigger deal than like another example, like gas prices. Like you
Right.
know, your pronoun is a big deal to some people.
No,
but
I get that.
I don't think that people should be like flipping out and yelling at people and,
yeah, and
being so
like,
sensitive. Like
canceling
correct us.
people are like taking everything they work
Yeah,
for
it's
because
absurd.
of it and shit. And I'm not just saying that. A lot of the stuff that comes with like being a millennial and being in this group of people that don't want to work hard and fucking get given things, and they're offended, and they can take all your shit and sue you because you offended them the wrong way. But also the people that make that argument, say me like that, don't get offended, they need to have more empathy. I feel like I'm a very
Yeah.
empathetic guy,
I'll accept
and
it.
I'm
It's
empathetic
right, so
to
you
your
should.
situation because I know no matter what's going on here, whether it's mental health or what gender you want to be referenced as or whatever, I know that you're going through something in the world and I'm going through something in the world. So I respect whatever it takes to make you happy because you're going through this life with
Yeah.
me, right? I'm empathetic to that. So we need
I
to
don't have
have
that.
stop being offended and be more empathetic.
Well, and that's why I really just feel like because everyone's just living their life, and I mean, unless you directly harm me, where's the fucking respect for one another? Like, just why is it even a conversation about other people's pronouns and if we want to fucking say them or not? Like, it really.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be. You should just call people what the fuck they want to be called, and it shouldn't be a big conversation.
No.
To a degree.
I mean,
Because, I mean, you know, whenever we graduated, I wanted to be Sir Ian Brock Esquire.
right.
By the logic of the people making a stink, they should have called me that.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
They absolutely should have. That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's like sometimes you just deal with it. Like, you surround yourself with people that will call you what you want to be called.
There you
and
go.
everybody else,
Yeah, you
don't
can't.
associate with them.
That's like saying that like your opinion don't fucking matter, right? Technically, none of us fucking matter to any of us. We're all fucking the star of our own movie. So to force other people to worry about what offends you and what doesn't, like, come on, man. We're all just living this life. But I don't come into contact with any of those people that get offended at anything. So I don't know.
I don't think I've really come in contact with anyone who's offended with anything, which is crazy because I feel like I'm rather offensive to a lot of people. And
No, I don't.
Well, I mean, you rarely leave the house, so.
Right? That's
Maybe
true.
it's super isolated, but
Well-
then super amped up on social media. Like this happened.
Yes, that was going to be my point, is that social media is the fucking problem. I don't
Yeah.
feel like this issue is that big. I feel like most people respect one another, and, well, I'm so sorry that I called you the wrong thing. I'll fix it, and that's the fucking end of it.
Yeah. On a case-by-case basis, yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
But like, on the whole, fuck them.
Right.
But on the whole, fuck everything, though, right? I
Yeah.
mean, when it comes down to
There's
it.
a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah. Why why even get fucked up about anything? Just like, fuck it, man. Like, oh, whatever. I don't get to go to work today. Fuck it. Like, oh,
Well,
you're going to
sounds great.
take my house from me because I couldn't make the pay. Fuck it.
I just think, like, specifically with people getting offended and, like, getting upset about things that people say, it's just, we were always growing up and it was just, sticks and stones,
Yeah, absolutely.
And people getting butthurt about what people say. It's like somebody could talk shit about pretty much anybody that I know and care about. They could talk shit about me. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, I swear to
But
God.
then people get worked up about it, and I just can't get my head around that.
I can't
And in that
either.
sense, I feel like Dad.
Yeah,
Because, I mean, it just seems crazy.
it does seem crazy.
It's like, I'm going to fight you over something that you said. It's like,
So
let
weird
it roll
to
off
say,
you. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
So weird to say like that when you put it into that plain term. It's like, yeah, what the fuck is
It's
the big deal here?
ridiculous.
Hey,
I
you
swear.
stupid fucking bitch.
I've had people
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What up,
Yeah,
man?
What's
I've
up?
had
You want a
people
candy bar?
cut me off, flick me off, cuss at me, yell at me, and I've never once been like that fucked up to be like, let's fight. Like now, I mean, you know what I mean? Other than like prison, but other than that, I just let
It's a
shit roll
different
off my.
Yeah, but
environment.
everybody fights in prison.
Yeah.
I just let shit roll off my like. Why, like you said, why let it ruin your day or your, decision making, any of that?
That's what I'm saying about, like, people are just sissies. Like, I don't know what other way to describe it, but they're just sissies. People are so fucking upset. They're so, my opinion matters. You better fucking hear me. Like, we know your opinion matters, but quit being a dick about it. Please.
And more people would listen though, probably if
Where's
they stopped
my-
being a dick.
Yeah,
Plus,
absolutely.
I have the whole problem of whenever people want to voice their thing and they're like, you need to listen to me and respect my thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could pretty much tell you what you're going to say right now.
Yeah.
So you need to shut the fuck up. Because it's so easily condensed down to just one thing. I've heard it
Yeah.
and I don't care.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoy being more empathetic though. It's nice to like hear somebody else's story, and like the customers that have cried with, that I've cried with. Like I'm gonna admit it. Like I wasn't gonna say it, but I've cried with them because of said situation that they're going through. Right? I'm not gonna put it out there, but there's been like 3 or 4 of them that I'll fucking physically have an emotional response to, and it's like more people need to be that way. And then just get the fuck on with their business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stop worrying about everybody else's fight and do your own thing and be empathetic.
Yeah,
Well,
but then
there's-
once you do that kind of stuff, though, it's always my concern that like once you empathize with somebody and you get on their level and you're like, oh man, I feel you, and you both cry on the gutter or whatever, then they're gonna get clingy,
You don't.
and then they're like, oh, you understand me, nobody else does, and they want to email you their problems.
Yeah, it's
and
a rough
like,
one.
eh.
Well, and that's when you just set boundaries. Like, it's fine if someone wants to cry one time, but, like, you're not...
If you do it every time.
We
right.
aren't friends. Like, and even my own friends, I don't really have that much involvement with.
I know.
For real.
If they
yeah.
started crying, I'd kind of
Keep
be
it-
like, oh.
yeah. I'm not the one.
Moonwalk out of this.
I used to get paid for this, and it was not enough. Like,
No. But
it's just
I don't know.
emotionally taxing, and
Yeah,
to
but-
hear everyone's fucking problems.
It
all
bleeds
the
their
time.
emotions
Yeah.
onto your emotion, like, and it imprints on you what they're going through.
And it's annoying because if you take like a detached like coldness, but not like in a like insulting way, but if you're like, okay, I'm going to objectively listen to you. I'm not going to feel any of your feelings. I'm just going to listen. Then they're like, what do you're not even listening to me. You don't feel any of this. It's like, well, I'm counseling
Like,
you.
are you trying to make me cry?
Do you
Is
wanna-
that what you're
yeah.
saying?
Do you want a tear buddy or do you want me to fix you?
And there's
swear.
something too, though, that like we watched the whole thing about it, right? If the body can't tell the difference between physical pain and emotional pain, it plays the same in the human
heart.
brain, right? So like when you watch a movie that is scary, right? You're scared, you have fear. That fear response is real, even though it's on TV. It's real, right? And then when it comes to like, if you're watching the news and you see people suffering and in pain, you feel that same emotional response, even though you're not like dying or whatever, you feel the same emotional response, right? If you're watching anything that is warranting an emotional response. Fear, anger, hate,
Yeah.
whatever.
Your mind
sadness,
doesn't know
whatever.
it's fake.
Your
I was thinking
mind
sometimes I
puts
just
yourself
detach
in
from
that.
it.
But it's hard to, though, because subconsciously you're going through it.
Right.
You just don't know it. And eventually it breaks you down.
I mean, whenever I was a kid, there was my goal to become as desensitized as possible, and I just detached myself from everything. It worked. So when I see things like that, like I can put myself in their place and feel it and sympathize and all that crap, or I could just detach, be cold, and just laugh at it.
Yeah. It's a really good way to be.
So yeah, it's.
I mean, if that's the way you can approach it and actually successfully do it, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
But
but I
if-
don't want to feel that shit all the time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Then you get the people that are like, "Oh, you're cold. You turn that shit off. You need to feel what people." No,
Like, no, motherfucker, I'm healthy
it's
because...
not my goddamn problem.
Yeah, I'm healthy because I'm not walking around crying about everybody's bullshit all the time. Like, if I cry every time... Because my emotions are very big. I feel people. I can tell when someone's not doing well.
dude.
I can fucking feel it, like, in my chest and everything. And if I allowed myself to have an emotional response every single time,
fuck you up.
I'd be a wreck.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just be crying and sad and angry and shit all the time, every day, all day,
the
every day.
time.
Yes.
I just think that anybody, it would do that too. The news, no matter what kind of news, always does that. Like
Right.
that, whether you feel it or not, and you can be cold and pushed off, but eventually it would wear down on your subconscious, bleeding over into your conscious mind, right? And if it does, let's say it's a person that really feels emotion or is really intensely entertained by what they're watching,
Right.
you're going through all that shit, but whether you can admit it or not, you're going through the pain, the suffering, the sadness, the even the love, the happiness, whatever emotion that you're watching, your brain is going through that like you're going through it. So I don't know, you got to really choose what you put into your subconscious, into your conscious mind. Like you have to choose, or they can move in and they can control the shit out of you.
Yeah.
To an extent, I do agree with you, but I feel like there's more detachment that I have that you just don't.
Oh, probably,
And that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
No, I would say that because a lot of people probably feel like you're an asshole. And I would tend to
Catch
agree
that a
with them
lot.
if I didn't know you. Like if I was just like somebody that didn't know you, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's an asshole. But now I say it with love and compassion, like he's an asshole. Like
It's always
Yeah.
crazy to me that people have thought you were an
Cultivated
asshole.
that.
I could just never fucking get it. And then
cultivated it.
just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never understood it. I mean, I guess I can see now
Yeah.
because people are just
Like
too
you
sensitive.
grew up around it.
Yeah. People are so sensitive to everything.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like I'm not going out of my way to like fuck anybody over.
Right.
I just don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and everyone just wants you to care about their shit so much that they don't care about you at all.
Deal with
So-
your shit and come to me when you're well.
Yeah.
I don't-
No, I need you to feel everything I'm going through, but the way I want you to feel it.
Yeah. It's like, well,
is that?
here's three ways that what you feel is stupid.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of my face, please.
all the while remembering that nobody should give a fuck about our opinion, which is pretty
Right,
cool
exactly.
I don't know.
pretty cool to fucking be a part
No,
of.
they should.
Maybe somebody should.
Well,
There are obviously a few
Couch
people
and
out
Kristen
there.
and Danner and
Yeah.
Sex Woods. I feel like they care.
Yeah.
Good on them.
That's it.
But outside of them, fuck everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not even sure Sex Woods actually cares. I just know he watches the podcast regularly.
Yeah.
So
I think he just listens so that he can tell us all the ways we're wrong. And I respect that about him.
probably, it's
I
awesome.
think maybe we should talk about that shit in California where they're, instead of like teaching kids smart math. Yeah. Did you see
my
that
God.
shit?
She told me about it briefly.
He was only
but are we
half
for
listening
sure?
to me.
Are we for sure that whatever
Yes.
this is like implemented and actually
they're
a thing
trying
in
to
Yeah, they're trying to
implement
get
it.
it. It
Yeah.
hasn't.
Okay,
It
so
hasn't
explain
taken
it to me.
effect. So yeah, they want to keep everybody on the same page.
I wasn't
in
half
public
listening to you.
schools.
I just need him to repeat it so people are listening.
So like instead of having like advanced math in high school, they just want to keep everybody in the same math classes all the way through because they're like, let colleges teach them the advanced math and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, it just seems stupid. It's like, here, you got this smart kid, but we're not going to teach to that. We're just going to keep them bored and unengaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that seems stupid.
Because we mentioned it when we were talking about it, about them, like, if it's like a gifted program or whatever, or like an advanced, like they're even trying to take the word gifted and talented and advanced, the wording out of it.
Right. Yeah.
So it doesn't offend the people who are stupid.
Gifted applies to the R people.
Yeah. But
it's just so insane to me that, like, they're going to completely, if that goes through, which I truly hope it doesn't.
I think it will.
It's going to fuck up so many people. Can you imagine sitting in a class bored as fuck and, like, you're like, y'all are adding single digits together and I can do, long division. I don't know, calculus.
You're just going to get a bunch of smart troublemakers.
Yeah, dude, people are going to be fucked. All these kids are going to they're going to be lost. You're basically losing all these kids that actually, like, are smarter than the average kid because you don't want to hurt the dumb kids' feelings.
I know, and it's like it's in the name of equity.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
They're trying to make
people
it that
equity.
way.
That's so stupid.
Well, that's when we said it, like, there's going to be no Elon Musk. There's going to be no Edisons or Teslas or anybody who outside of the realm of fucking normal ass stupid human, right? Mm-hmm. Because what they do is, though, I think inadvertently, we see it and view it as, they're doing it to keep us at this level so that they can control us.
Well,
but what I think it is that it's a product of this, right? They're doing that because they're stupid and they don't want kids to be offended and feel bad, so they change it. But that sits like a domino effect, and it creates all these neutral ass human beings that pay taxes and go to work and die. Like, that's it.
Yeah, because there's no need to neutralize it. Let the smarter kids take the classes that work for them, and let the less smart kids take the regular old plumbus math, and they can just go about their day. What's it fucking hurting? It's not hurting anything. And if they're upset about it, fuck them.
I kind of thought that, like, the teachers were just too dumb to teach the advanced math.
They're like, we had to fire all our calculus
Completely
teachers.
possible.
Yeah. We're running substitute teachers through the entire math program.
None of these people have more than 20 credit hours in college. They don't know how to do this.
What did they provide an explanation as to why they wanted to do this, or is this just on a whim?
They want to make everyone equal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They don't want people to feel bad.
This equal argument, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
America's, no offense, I'm not saying, like,
Yeah.
all right.
Whatever you
America
were about to
was
say,
built.
I mean offense.
Yeah. America was built on
Rock and roll.
competition.
That was the city.
Right? Built on competition from the person behind you, in front of you, beside
Hell
you.
yeah.
We're competing. Only the best wins and the best survive, right? We weren't built on, and I know people say, well, that's how we're built. We need to be equal. This fight for equality amongst everybody and this, and then you complain because I punched you in the face. Well, you slapped me 12 times. Like,
right.
this equal argument, we're not equal. A lot of people have a lot of talents, a lot of abilities and skills that you just don't possess, right?
Well, and to me, it's just this whole argument of equality is what it should mean is in, like, society, our culture should consider everyone equals. We shouldn't, like, women's health issues shouldn't be like gross. Like, it should be fucking taught
Normalized.
in schools. Like, it's still not taught. The anatomy of the vagina is not taught even in, like, medical school, because they just, whatever. You can go and take specialized classes to discuss this. Now, that might have changed, but
I remember seeing some diagrams and psychology stuff.
Oh, good. Yay. But
I didn't learn it, but I saw it.
Yeah, you don't need to learn it. But that's, like, everything should just, we shouldn't have to separate of
I know.
I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. It's
I
upsetting
think in
me.
the fight of equality, we actually separate ourselves further because of the anger towards the equality. Because you're right. Like not morally speaking, but morally speaking, and like
Not morally, but morally.
like societal equalities should be a must. Like, and on a moral stance, on a right stance, all that shit, right? Everybody has the same rights, the same moral contract, right? But other than that, I mean, if you're better than me, you're fucking better than me.
Absolutely.
There's no, I can't do anything about that. Like,
You don't get to go to the NBA just because,
it's not fair.
I went to the NBA and you want to be the same as me.
Yeah.
What?
It's not fair to, LeBron James for you to make people that he fucking went to college with like the same. Like,
oh, now, hey, now.
You have to have
only
LeBron
the black
and Mike
kids can dunk. So until the white kids can dunk, no one dunks.
No one dunks.
Exactly,
or just lower the boards.
That's the argument.
We're playing on a 7-foot rim now, boys.
That's exactly the argument.
Yeah, you simplified the argument. That's the bad part about it. Like, and I don't know. A lot of hate stems from the fight for the equality, when in reality, just give us all the same rights.
People
and
fear
let's go from there.
people that are better than them at things.
Oh yeah.
They think, oh, they're going to use that. They're going to leave me behind. There's no so instead of equal opportunity, they're trying to just take away anybody's chance to excel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's horrible.
Make
Let's
everyone
face it.
mouth breathers.
And then they're going to wonder why America is just going to keep falling in the rankings.
Yeah, seriously.
And like, oh, well, we're all the same stupid gravy drinking country.
Right?
I love
Exactly.
drinking gravy, but, read something in between.
Isn't that
also,
the
like-
majority of why like racism is a thing? Because black people are generally stronger than white men,
Trying to hold them
faster.
down. Well, and
They're
that's-
better at baseball, football, every sport,
Well,
every physical
I saw a
activity.
thing where like they were making the argument that racism specifically in America has continued to go on because after the slavery thing, instead of just accepting that white people were like, look, we controlled you because we didn't want to do it, we could, end of story. They tried to continue the idea that we're superior.
Right.
And
It's ridiculous.
it's like, if you just won't accept that and acknowledge that we were dicks and that we're not necessarily better,
Yeah, but no one can just admit to their wrongdoings or their
Yeah.
shortcomings.
which is weird though, because it was so long ago. Nobody that did it is still alive.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, and just like misogyny and stuff, like women just being like at home and being like caregivers and homemakers and shit, like
Right.
because their emotions were just too out of whack. They have all these hormones. You never know when they're gonna feel good enough to do this. When in all actuality, our hormones are very much well regulated, and like it's on a cycle. And for the most part, generally speaking, you act, or emotionally anyway, have the same emotions depending on where you are in your cycle. But I was listening to a thing and they were talking about the male hormones, so testosterone. Girls' testosterone can spike up for any reason. You could look at a gun and just boom, it could shoot up. You could see a pretty woman and boom, it could shoot up. Like, it's not regulated. You're not on a cycle. But we're held down because we're emotional.
I mean, it's just been my personal experience that, like, between dude emotions and chick emotions, it's like dudes will have like their spikes and stuff, but rarely do we feel as though it's justifiable or explainable. Chicks, I feel like they feel more justified in it.
Yeah.
They're like, this is just how I am. You have to see me like this. This is how it's going to be. But whenever a dude's wiling out, everybody's like, look at that fucking aggro ass bag.
Right.
Calm the fuck down.
Do you think that that's society that, so like from birth, right? They've been told that they can't control it, that it's PMS, that it's
absolutely
crazy, that they're just being like emotional and shit. So now that they're older, they just assume that they can use that in an argument and it be valid.
Yeah, I feel like
Perhaps,
that's part of it. But there's also that stupid ass myth where, like, I'm a woman, my intuition's always right.
Yeah, that's dumb.
So, yeah.
I really feel like this inequality between men and women has led to a lot of this, though, because I know there are a lot of times that I feel like I'm not heard, not usually because I'm a woman, but sometimes because I'm a woman.
Right.
And it's so frustrating. It makes me feel like I'm going to act like that, like fucking pay attention to me, but I just don't.
Well, with that, like, because I mean, sometimes I don't feel heard, but I don't chalk it up to it's because I'm a man. I just chalk it up to, well, it's
this person's
it's just
a
not my
dick.
day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could obviously catch a lot of shit, but it's just I'm a white dude.
Right.
So, societally speaking, I don't have anything to fall back on as to why people don't listen to me or why I don't get this certain opportunity.
Right.
Other than I don't have anything to add to it.
Right.
I haven't done what I need to do to be considered for something. And everybody else is like, oh, it's because I'm a woman. Oh, it's
Yeah.
because I'm a Mexican.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Right. That's what they do, though.
Maybe shut the fuck up and
That's
learn
Be better.
something. Yeah, just be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's
Or
can agree
fight
with that.
people until they listen to you.
it's human. That's just how we're built, though.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. It doesn't matter who will blame it on something. Given the chance, usually, like you'll be like, even if you don't say it, you'll think like, oh fuck, man, if it wasn't raining, if the wind wasn't blowing this way, we have something
Right.
that we always can't be me, and my lack of has to be something else.
It's like in elementary school whenever we play basketball. Kids be like shooting free throws and like something loud would happen in the distance. They're like, oh, interference, do over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, just acknowledge that you can't focus or shoot free throws.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I want to. It would be super cool to see the American history or the progress of just the entire Earth if women were like, if the roles
Ruled
were
the world?
switched. Yeah, like if women did everything that the men did throughout history, right? But like
never happened.
whatever way they would have done it.
Right.
It would just be so cool because back like the Egyptians felt like women were
We were
the
the shit.
they housed all life. Like
Right.
the men were secondary. It was all about the women in the Egyptian culture. Like the women were the deities. Like they were everything, life-giving. They were powerful. They were, you name it. Like so.
Right. Well, they were powerful, but did they lead armies?
Ooh.
Were there armies full of women fighting people?
No, that was the
think
man's
so.
job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
But
were
is that-
were there women adventurers?
But did the women put the man in charge of the army and be like, look, you're gonna go fight this. You're the leader, but I am the empress.
Right. I'm going to sit here and eat fucking grapes
Yeah.
and you go protect me.
You go fight them all down.
Well, it wasn't
know.
so much. I feel like it wasn't so much like that because I mean, it tends to be where like women will find their dude and then they just build them up.
Yeah.
So you've accomplished more than you would have without her.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
But it's not that she's calling all the shots, but it's not that she's not.
right.
Like you would have no reason to be better if not for her.
Not given the No, for sure.
But without you, she wouldn't have an electrical company.
Right.
Right.
Well, and I would have no reason to give
To
a fuck
build
and
any-
try
yeah.
and make him a better person. Like,
Now,
Yeah.
along these lines, I want to pick your brain
oh
because
no.
I've been thinking that like,
as a woman? No.
yeah, you're the spokeswoman.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
Because in my head, I've been thinking about like culture and like society and how humanity has progressed. Mm-hmm. And I tend to not think of women as like the explorer, like conqueror, builder type. Mm-hmm. Like if with Adam's idea, women had been the leaders instead of men, I don't think we would have half the shit that we do. I think the world would be more comfortable and loving.
Oh, there'd be throw pillows everywhere.
Exactly. We'd have a lot more pillows, like better materials.
Yeah.
And children would probably be raised in much more loving conditions instead of conditioned to war.
Right.
But I don't think that we would have half the shit that we do because women just don't seem to have that drive to explore and
Right.
find things and do
And
shit.
conquer and
I don't know. I have multiple thoughts. Perhaps we don't seem that way or think that way because really we've never had to. Would evolution take over? Would our brains develop in a more like critical, like spatial way of thinking? And because I mean, really, if I don't know a whole lot of women that think in that mechanical, I need to build this. I know some, but majority not.
Yeah, there are exceptions to everything.
Yeah.
I talk to people about this kind of crap, and they're like, well, there are some women. It's like, no fucking
That
shit.
doesn't help the discussion.
If there's an exception to every rule, you dumbass.
I can definitely see that though, for
Yeah.
sure. I question like the evolution and would we have developed differently? That way we could move forward in society and as a group of people, maybe. But no, I could see that. I can see us kind of just chilling out back, like in tents with a lot of throw pillows, because we could definitely sew. Interesting. I like that idea. Yeah.
And the idea of like gold and different minerals and shit, like, would we have ever found that? Because, I mean, I don't know too many chicks that are just going to go out digging for shit.
Right. Yeah, no. Well, and I sure the fuck wouldn't. I mean, especially if I were like, ooh, crap, like an empress. Like, I'm going to sit the fuck right here, and you're going to bring me my shit, and you're going to go build shit.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I could rule women and make them go do it. Bring me the plans first.
I feel like there'd just be a lot of backstabbing. There'd be way more backstabbing.
Maybe.
Yeah, dude, because, like, dude confrontation, you know, we're just going to fight each other, but chick confrontation, it's like they're going to talk shit to Catherine down the way, and then she's going to tell Susan, and then everybody's going to be catty.
It does make me wonder if, like, all along, if we were in different roles, if we'd be as catty. Maybe we'd be more supportive. I mean, there does seem to be this wave right now of, like, women being more supportive, but, you know, they still, like, talk shit behind each other's back.
surface.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the way that it's talked about so explicitly is trying to counteract the reality that most of it is just...
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting.
And build each other up.
It would be very cool to see, though, like, how women would have evolved differently, how men would have evolved differently if the roles were reversed completely. Maybe one day, oh crap, hundreds of years from now, the world will be different. I feel like roles are kind of reversing a little, or maybe equaling out. Yeah, maybe we can come back in a few thousand years and see.
I think that in the fight for equality, the fight to not offend people and all this stuff has created this group of people that don't want to work. Like, they feel like they can just sit back and shit's just going to get done, and they can live off the government or whatever. And that's something that I've been battling because I've worked since I've been, 15, like legitimately working. I've worked forever. Like, I've always worked, right? And if not, I was probably robbing people, and I feel like that's work.
Yeah, that's
if you
work.
will.
My God, that's gotta be stressful.
Definitely sweaty. You should have seen that jacket that he used to wear is dirty.
But
also,
like,
allegedly.
I've always been a worker, so I don't know how to put myself in this situation. But I do understand, like, where these people are coming from, that they made more on unemployment than they did at their actual jobs. But I think that speaks more to our society and our companies and stuff demanding more from our government for our time at work. It's the capitalist cycle. The capitalist cycle demands profits, right? So these companies are cutting the fat everywhere in benefits and money and all that. Yeah. And then when you go and
except for the CEO.
Yeah, but you go and make,
so important.
You know, twice what you do normally on unemployment. Of course, anybody in their right mind would stay on that shit as long as it will play out, right? Which is coming in. But I'm just saying, like, if you can't understand why people are doing that, it's crazy. Because we're all fucked out of our time and our lives for companies that only give a shit about profit. No company you ever work for will ever care about anything else.
Have you seen the Lisa Simpson meme?
Mm-mm.
Where, like, she's standing in front of the board or whatever, and it's like people are getting more... people aren't going back to work because they can get paid more to do absolutely nothing than to go and do work, and then like your business or whatever is part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's the
I feel like
business.
crap needs to be done about that, but it never will.
I think we're getting to a point that it's going to, right? So you have to have people that don't go back to work. You have to have people like, remember when I said that everybody needs to quit going to work all at the same time? Well, it's kind of doing that, but slower, right? It's like a slow race. But if we all just like rip the Band-Aid off and just stop going to work and refuse to work for these shitty wages, shitty benefits, it don't matter if you got like all the requirements and stuff. Any company you work for, if you're an employee, you're getting fucked. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid, you're getting fucked, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you're the person like doing all the work and getting paid
The
pennies,
least amount.
basically.
Yeah.
But then they just open up the borders and let loose all the people they have locked
So
up at
be
the
it.
border.
Yeah, so be it. I mean, that's what it's come down to. And if people can't recognize that these companies have been fucking us the whole time, like, that's their problem, right? Demand more. Like, don't
People
go to
realize
they have to.
it, and they've demanded more, and the government doesn't listen, and the
Okay, then
businesses don't care.
Go and
then-
start your own company.
Yeah,
Well,
but
one-
it's easier
one
said than done.
One person can do a security company. You just go get like a license for your company and start your company, and then go out and market yourself
And then
and
you have
do
to
it.
have insurance for everybody.
Yeah,
and-
for you. Well, I'm
yeah.
saying for like
Basically,
for
it
yourself.
costs like at least $40,000 to start it up.
Well, I guess you got to save that little that you're getting from the government and shit while you're on unemployment.
Yeah.
And start your own shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, I get it. You have the right idea,
But yeah.
realistically, for the majority of people, that's not an option.
Oh, yeah.
And then
okay.
if they stop going to work, then they're not going to be able to eat,
Yeah.
and they're not going to be able to buy drugs or have their video games, and then
Good.
everybody's bitter.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it would be nice, but nobody wants to break the eggs.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where I think it seems like there's a little bit of this happening where like the whole set of employees is just not coming. I was going to say cast. The whole cast
Stuff.
isn't coming in places.
Larry
are
on
like,
grill.
yes, are like shutting down because they don't have anyone to work for them
Yeah.
because they're tired of the bullshit.
The truckers not delivering gas to gas stations. Like they're getting tired of not fucking making money. They're getting tired of being railroaded. It don't matter what thing you know about or whatever you've gone to school for. It doesn't matter. Like we're all getting fucked and we're realizing that. And it is time to have like an employee uprising, like an employment uprising.
Yeah.
Like you need to
Yeah.
demand more.
It would
And
be
if that-
awesome.
and if that takes getting on unemployment and then trying to work and do your own thing while you're on that unemployment, a lot of those people, and I know 2 or 3 of them personally that are, riding that unemployment shit out as long as they can, but they're building a company on the side so that they can start that instead of going back on the thing. So a lot of those people, I feel like the numbers are, these people are trying to do side hustles and turn those side hustles into companies and stop relying on the fucking employer to pay them every week.
Well, and that's
True.
what I was going to say is, I can't remember. It was on NPR. I can't remember like what the woman did, but she was in charge of like helping people on unemployment, like get jobs and things like that. And she actually said like of the people that she has come in contact with, the most people, if they're not going back to work, it's not the money that they're making. They're still scared of getting COVID, and they're going down other paths. They've found something else that they actually enjoy, and they're like, well, I'm gonna ride this and see how it goes. So it seems like they're not going back to work, but they're just going back to different work.
And it doesn't
Yeah.
make somebody lazy that they enjoy actually being a human and enjoying their time. It doesn't
Right.
make you lazy in that, they're pieces of shit just because you have to go to work because you're essential or didn't get that opportunity.
Right.
Like, it is what it is, man. And we need to demand more from the companies. Like, fuck this profit gain shit and all that stuff. Take care of the fucking employees. Everybody on the state. You don't have to gain profit every year to make, 2 or 3 billion a year. Like, just because you don't make 4 billion doesn't matter when you're making 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shit
Yeah,
like
you
that.
can just maintain the same
Yeah.
same profit.
But then
It's
you fall
okay.
behind inflation.
No, you don't.
I think
When you're making $3 billion a year.
Yes, well,
inflation stops.
Well, I
when
mean,
that happens.
just taking what you said strictly. I mean, I assume you meant more so in the spirit of the idea than the letter of the idea. But by the letter of the idea, if you make $3 billion every year for 20 years, that $3 billion is worth a lot less.
That's true.
I think though, if you stop companies from like that ever pressing like profit gain margin, whatever, the inflation starts to back off a bit, right? You don't have as much inflation because these companies aren't raising, prices and gaining more profit at the end of the year. You just stop all that and take care of the people at hand. It reinvigorates the economy, and it would make things better to take the fucking profit gain out of it. And there's a word for that. And
Communism?
They're moving into like a collective something. I'll have to look up the word and put it in the fucking thing, but it's a collective work environment or whatever, where the company and the people, they're all equal in the company and they all share an equal part of the company. Think union without the dues. Right? You have people to back you up. You work as a unit instead of like you have a CEO and then all the step down. Everybody shares
It's all this way instead of like this.
their information as far as like their pay information, all that shit. Everybody knows everybody's shit. We're all comfortable working here, and we work for a general ideal. It's a collective something. I'll just say collective employment.
Yeah. So do they vote on decisions?
So they also vote on who's the manager, who's gonna do the supervising, who's gonna do these. They vote on it. They take a vote between everybody, and then whatever the vote comes out, everything's strictly equal. It's all like fucking what is it called when you vote on things? It's
Democracy.
democracy. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'd like to actually see it in practice.
Yeah, I like the idea of it, but I could just see how it would go horribly wrong.
There's places in Holland and
But I guess anything can go wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
Switzerland.
Negative.
Everything will go wrong.
Oh, there's another one. Ocean Breeze. If you want to see it in practice, that's how they have stayed a viable company for this long.
That's awesome.
That's what they use that system, collective, whatever. And everybody has an equal share of the company. They all like benefit from it. They vote on things. Everything. Ocean Breeze is the
That's awesome.
the cranberry place or whatever. Yeah. So
Making juice.
and they vote on raises. They vote on
Ocean Spray?
Ocean Spray.
Oh,
yeah,
that
there
is
you go.
what it is.
Sorry,
No, that's cool.
but yeah.
Ocean Breeze sounded a lot nicer.
Yeah. it sounds like a nice-
Spray, it's like, there's salt in my eye.
Yeah, ocean spray does sound a little aggressive.
But I think there's a better way to do all these things, and I think a lot of people are going to get uncomfortable and mad and angry. But that's what it takes to make like
It'll be
real
all right.
change. You know what I mean? So I think don't just like just ride the wave, man. We're gonna get there.
Right.
Eventually
I'm
we're
cool
gonna
with
get
the
there.
idea, but I just don't think anybody's actually going to lead the charge to get there.
Yeah, you
'Cause,
think
I mean,
we'll go back to the just business as usual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you have a dude that has like $20 left and he's at the casino, he's a lot more inclined to just put it all on black. Like, fuck it, man, this is what I have. But if you got a dude, he's there with $100,000, he's not gonna do that shit. He's not gonna wage everything just for some change.
He might if
Yeah.
he's
It's like-
an addict.
It's like, well, I've got. But then, how did he get that $100,000 to begin with?
He probably robbed somebody. That's what I'd do.
Robin.
Allegedly.
You said allegedly earlier about him with the jacket. I was thinking like, when he was robbing people, he was wearing the jacket. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Like he was robbing people, but don't
jacket.
comment.
That way
too
no one can
certainly.
identify him by this jacket.
Yeah. He could have been wearing anything.
He used to do
I'm
it in a
getting
dress.
hungry as a motherfucker.
Hell
But
I'm not. I just want to watch Grey's Anatomy.
Whoop, whoop.
nice. dude.
Man, I went to watch the newest episode today while he was golfing. There wasn't one.
Boo
I guess
to them.
it's another fucking break. Like they need this many goddamn breaks.
I would stop watching at this point. Grey's
I
ain't what
want
it
to
used
so
be.
badly. I want it to end. It's so terrible.
See, they signed on for 4 more seasons.
Oh, shut up. I'll
Nah.
kill myself. This
be
better be the
crazy.
last one.
That would be nuts. Yeah, man, that was episode 106. I don't know if we got every point that we were trying to make out, but I think you get the general idea, and we can argue about it in the comments if you'd like. So if you do feel a certain way about what we said, please leave it in the comments because we love to have a healthy argument with people for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of healthy arguments for sure. A little debate, little debate.
Little bidate.
Little debate.
Yeah.
I couldn't even say it, bidate. There you go.
Bidate. Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you've made it this far, we really appreciate it. If you listen to the first 10 minutes, well, then you're a shithead. And but thanks for helping the algorithm. Yeah, man.
Is that all it takes? Is 10 minutes?
Check
Probably.
out Ian's show, First Impression.
Yeah.
And
Something
you're up
like
to episode 7, I think.
Still in the single digits.
Yeah, I think you're up to 7 now. So, yeah, check him out, man. He does it every just now and then, right? There's no set
Every
plan.
I do it every week. I put it up on Thursday.
On Thursday?
Yeah.
Thursday.
I don't know what it's called, though.
First shot, first impression.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Come on, man.
I don't know. I just drink.
Yeah, check it out. Oh, yeah, you type that shit in. It's Ian Brock. Or no, it's Ian Galaxy. So check him out, man. Sarah, thank you for being with us today.
Oh, well, I'm always happy to be
I know
here.
it was a long drive for you, so
I know. It took me forever to get here.
thank you for listening.
Skibbity bop bop
Sarah forever to get anywhere.
Forever.
Wildly uninteresting.
She rides a sloth.
Podcast.
I really want to decorate.